For 37 years, Hollywood's golden couple, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, have captivated viewers with their love and unusual connection. Hollywood marriages generally fail, so theirs is remarkable. What's their long-term happy secret? In this video, we discuss the major surprise that has people buzzing and how this power couple has maintained their relationship without marrying. Trust, fun, and mutual respect define Goldie and Kurt's success, from prioritizing family to enjoying their freedom. The unconventional couple. Hollywood couples will always end up divorced. As a result, many couples decide against exchanging vows in favor of a lasting relationship without the official ceremony. In the case of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, this is true. They never made their long-term relationship official, and it's worked out well for them for an astonishingly long time. However, something altered in their relationship and things shifted, for better or worse. We can't tell for sure, but check in to find out whether this is the end of the couple's more than 3 decades of love. Not always smooth sailing. Even though they try to look on the bright side of things, Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell are willing to talk about the things that have been challenging them over the years. Since they first started dating, they've gone through some very tough moments in their relationship. When candidly discussing the many temptations that often drive a partner to infidelity, Goldie is exceptionally comfortable sharing her thoughts. Did their ideal relationship have problems because of this? In an interview, the vivacious actress discussed remaining faithful to her boyfriend, stating, "Monogamy is a careless order. Being in the public glare for so long has also been a source of much unwanted pressure throughout their time together. You're in the prime of your life, attracted to other people, and may have dreams about it. It's difficult to claim that pressure never negatively affected their bond. Are Kurt and Goldie now prepared to discuss it?" They first met in the swingin' 60s. The first time Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell saw each other was in 1968. In Walt Disney Productions' live-action musicals, The One and Only, Genuine, and Original Family Band, they've been paired against one another. These handsome adolescents weren't immediately infatuated with one another since they were focused on their jobs. Since this was Goldie's first feature picture, she was very anxious throughout the production. She also felt a little frightened by the ensemble's size and the project's scope. She was undoubtedly a newcomer to the scene and wanted to satisfy the production company with a subpar performance. She also couldn't allow a guy to obstruct her career advancement. One huge factor that couldn't be overlooked. Kurt had been in 3 movies before this one, so he had more experience than Goldie. Still, he was anxious to participate in a significant Walt Disney project. They were both too intent on giving excellent performances to be sidetracked by anyone or anything. The two had no romantic feelings for one another, partly due to other circumstances. Goldie was 21 years old and could not look at Kurt and feel attracted to an adolescent since she was 5 years older than Kurt. It was unthinkable. The problem with Kurt. Although Harrison Ford is 22 years older than Calista Flockhart and Blake Lively is 11 years younger than Ryan Reynolds, Goldie felt that the age gap between the 16-year-old Kurt and herself was just too much at that moment. While Goldie was legally authorized to drink at the time, and Kurt was a naive youngster who couldn't purchase alcohol or go into most Hollywood nightclubs, Goldie later said, "I thought he was adorable, but he was much too young." Although they treated each other respectfully on set, they never imagined going too far and starting a personal relationship then. The rise of Goldie Hawn. The kids said goodbye to their castmates and wished them well as the shooting concluded. Although it wasn't a box office or critical hit, the movie launched Goldie's career. Casting agencies and movie directors had taken a strong interest in her, and soon she was receiving parts in larger productions, eventually leading to her winning the most significant award in Hollywood. A year after starring in her debut motion picture, 1969, Hawn won a Golden Globe and an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in the movie Cactus Flower. Goldie was officially a celebrity now. Fame, fans, and marriage. The 1970s were kind to Goldie as she continued to feature in movies. Her personal life was thriving in addition to her acting profession, which was thriving. She was married to dancer Gus Trikinis in 1969. After appearing in the musical West Side Story, she moved on to direct. The comedy-drama Private Benjamin starred Goldie, who received an Oscar nomination for the performance. She released a country CD and presented 2 television specials throughout the decade. Dolly Parton, a legendary country music icon, contributed to the album's production, and Goldie was ecstatic. The Duchess and the Man with the Gyrating Hips. Hawn made 9 films in the 1970s and was considered Hollywood's darling. In 1976, she co-starred with George Segal in the romantic comedy The Duchess and the Dirtwater Fox. Regretfully, Kurt's career was progressing slowly, and he was far from achieving Goldie's accomplishment. Russell could make ends meet by securing little roles in movies and TV shows, but this barely covered the rent. When he was cast in the lead part in the television movie Elvis, portraying the renowned King of Rock and Roll, he finally had a breakthrough. He was at last gaining recognition and receiving an Emmy nomination. Kurt becomes a snake. Kurt was making good progress in his profession, but the film industry didn't notice him until he was cast in the highly sought-after part of Snake Plissken in the action film Escape from New York. Fans adored how Kurt lived up to the role, and the movie became a cult favorite. When the follow-up, Escape from Los Angeles, was released a few years later, they were overjoyed. The actor was a favorite of the film's director, John Carpenter, who recast him in the horror thriller The Thing, which was based in Antarctica. In addition, a somewhat strange mystery about Kurt had surfaced. Disney's last words. Kurt Russell was the last person Walt Disney wrote down his name when he passed away in December 1966. Kurt had been a regular employee of Walt's studio since he starred in the one and only, genuine, and original family band. Still, nobody in Hollywood could figure out why Walt had written Kurt's name on paper without making any other notes. When asked about it after Walt's death from lung cancer, Kurt replied, "Oh gee, I don't know what it's connected to." It seemed that nobody else did either. The monumental decision Russell had to make. Kurt had shown much promise as a baseball player before becoming an actor. He was good enough to play professionally, but was torn between his love of acting and his passion for the game. Kurt knew he couldn't pursue both of his passions, and he had to make a difficult decision. His father had been a professional baseball player, and it was clear that Kurt had the skill to follow in his father's footsteps. Kurt played in the minor leagues for the California Angels in 1973, but he couldn't pursue both of his passions. At a young age, Kurt had to make the difficult decision to give up on his desire to pursue acting and his love of baseball. Goldie's heartache and healing. Although Goldie was deeply in love with her husband, Gus Trakinis, their marriage tragically failed. Unable to make it work, the couple agreed to divorce in 1976 after 7 years together. But Goldie soon found love again, falling deeply in love with musician Bill Hudson, who was in a band called the Hudson Brothers. The couple had 2 children, Oliver and Kate. Kurt also found love, marrying actress Susan Hubley in 1979. The two met on the set of Elvis and went on to have a son named Boston. The divorces that would put both stars on a collision course. Even though neither star could have imagined that their marriages would fail, Goldie's second marriage only lasted 4 years before ending in divorce in 1980. Meanwhile, Kurt was divorcing Susan, and both stars were back on the single scene, healing from the heartbreak of their broken hearts. Despite this, the actors didn't consider one another a potential love interest and threw themselves into their work. Goldie was starring opposite some beautiful leading men, and sparks flew on set with a couple of them. The film star who left Goldie weak at the knees. He was so handsome that I didn't know if my eyes would burn inside my head if I looked at him long enough, Goldie remarked of her first encounter with the charismatic Warren Beatty, who had a reputation for wowing his leading ladies. She always stays evasive when asked about any romantic connection to Beatty. It turned out that they met, so it's evident that their relationship went beyond purely professional. Beatty famously dated Madonna, having filmed Dick Tracy together. He's currently in a long-term relationship with actress Annette Bening, whom he married in 1992. Who was Goldie's favorite kissing co-star? The action comedy film Bird on a Wire was shot in Canada in 1990. Goldie starred with the handsome Australian actor Mel Gibson, whose piercing blue eyes, charming personality, and cheeky grin drew you in. Their on-screen chemistry was evident, and Hawn later admitted in an interview that Gibson was an excellent kisser. But despite her obvious attraction and admiration for Gibson, her heart belonged to someone else. And in 1983, Goldie and Kurt finally took their professional relationship to a romantic one. The shift that started it all. After a night of heavy drinking the night before, Kurt was suffering from a rather spectacular hangover. However, he survived the audition process with the help of some painkillers and a gallon of coffee, and he was now firmly focused on wooing Goldie. Russell and Hawn met in the same room while reading for the starring roles in the movie Swing Shift. Their obvious chemistry eventually led to the producers casting them as the leading man and woman. The first date that resulted in the cops showing up. Their first date began like any other. They went to the movies. Excited to spend the evening together, they continued their date night at a club where they spent several hours drinking and dancing. Things took an interesting turn when Goldie invited Kurt back to her house. Goldie had recently bought the house and major renovations were underway. Hawn realized she couldn't enter the house when they reached the front door. Breaking in on a first date. The two Hollywood stars were rather inept burglars, and soon after amateurishly breaking in, they heard police sirens. Someone had spotted the pair entering the house suspiciously and had called 911. After showing the cops evidence of ownership, the couple decided to head to another location to continue the never-ending first date. Hawn didn't have a key for her front door, despite owning it. It was very early in the morning, and they were both out of their minds. Having tried ineffectively to find an open window or unlocked door, they had no choice but to break into Goldie's house. Kurt recalls the evening in a later interview. Kurt looks back on it today with great fondness. 37 years ago, after the movie and the club and then the following disastrous attempt at breaking into the place, they'd gone to a hotel to wrap off their fantastic evening. The actor told a reporter, "It was a lot of fun, I'll tell you what. It seems like a long time ago, but it was even more romantic because it was their first date on St. Valentine's Day. We hope that their future dates don't involve the cops, but it's clear that the couple still thrilled together and that they lead exciting lives." Husband, wife, and loving parents. When Goldie and Kurt first started dating, they had to think about how their kids would handle the new dynamic in their family. Goldie had 2 kids from her previous marriage to Bill Hudson, and she wanted to protect Oliver and Kate from feeling uncomfortable about living with their new partner because Kurt also had a son. Kurt and Susan Hubley had a son named Boston, so the 3 kids had to adjust to living together in their new family dynamic. Goldie's pregnancy meant that the family would grow even more. Like father, like son. Like mother, like daughter. The couple welcomed their first son, Wyatt, into the world on July 10, 1986. The 4 children developed a close bond, with 3 of them choosing to pursue their parents' careers. Oliver, Kate, and Wyatt all became successful actors. Boston worked on a film crew, preferring not to appear in front of the camera like his siblings, and Kate, Goldie's daughter, is undoubtedly the most well-known child actor. The two have an extremely close bond and nearly identical mannerisms. Kate achieved fame in the acting world before concentrating on several other projects. Almost famous, but very famous. Unafraid of her mother's success, Kate has worked incredibly hard over the years to establish herself as a talented actress in her own right and to become a successful business owner. Having lived a very healthy lifestyle, Kate started her fitness brand, Fabletics, which she launched with a business partner. One of Kate's earliest roles was in the romantic comedy How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days with Matthew McConaughey. She also starred in Cameron Crowe's Almost Famous, for which she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress Oscar. Daddy issues. Despite her busy schedule, Kate consistently balances acting, motherhood, dating, running a business, and writing books. She's published 2 books, Pretty Happy, Healthy Ways to Love Your Body, and Pretty Fun, creating and celebrating a lifetime of tradition. Despite her strained relationship with her biological father, Kate finds solace in getting along so well with Russell, who's been in her life since she was 18 months old. He's such a nice man and I adore him so much. He's unique. He doesn't buy into things. Considering how close they are and how much time and effort he's invested in raising her, she views him as her biological father. Sharing the screen with her stepfather meant the world to Kate. Although raising another man's child is never easy, Kurt put a lot of effort into getting to know both of Goldie's children. He didn't want them to feel like stepchildren, and it showed. He'd supported Kate through good times and bad, even offering inside advice when she made her first tentative steps into the acting world. Unfortunately, Kate doesn't have a relationship with her biological father, Bill, stating that all he knows about her life is from the media and the movies he watches. Nevertheless, she is fortunate to have a close relationship with her mother and stepfather and feels honored to have worked with Kurt in Deepwater Horizon. The Vanishing Father and what it means to Goldie's children. Oliver and Kate speak openly about their father and stepfather, showing a deep appreciation for their relationship with Kurt. They are forever grateful that he accepted them as his own, and he's shown them nothing but love and support since he came into their lives. Both of them have children of their own, and neither of them would ever dream of not being in their kids' lives. They feel betrayed by their father and are openly resentful of his behavior. On Father's Day in 2015, Oliver posted a photo of him and Kate with their father, adding the caption, "Happy Abandonment Day." Bill was furious and retaliated. Kurt's warm attitude towards her children significantly influenced his relationship with Goldie. "I remember about Kurt not only being sexy and handsome and all that stuff," the actress said on the Ellen DeGeneres show. "I loved the way he looked at my children. It was something special. He's good at that. He's good with kids." And I went, "Oh my God, this is amazing." She added, "I fell in love, but I also fell in love. Those are two pretty good deals." Bill Hudson makes a stunning statement about his children. Oliver's Instagram post prompted him to become very vocal about Goldie's part in inciting his children's resentment of him. He stated that while Goldie had spoken positively about him and their kids after the divorce, she had told a newspaper reporter that everything had changed when Kurt entered the picture. He continued saying, "The narrative changed, and I became the big bad wolf. I would say to her, 'Goldie, why are you trashing me and saying I'm an absent father when it's simply not the case?' And she would laugh and go, 'Oh, Bill, you know it makes for a better story.'" Bill added that he only now recognizes 3 of his 5 children. "My son is dead to me." Offended by Oliver's post, Bill told the media that his son was dead to me now, as is Kate. He asked the reporter to tell his kids, saying, "I say to them now, I say you're free." He ended the interview by calling Oliver's post a malicious, vicious, premeditated attack. To demonstrate how serious he is when he declares that his son and Kate are dead, he says, "I am mourning their loss even though they're still walking this earth." He also asked the reporter to stop using his surname. We owe it all to Goldie. Oliver and Kate praise their mother, who they attribute to instilling in them the importance of family values from an early age. Their current style of living is primarily a result of her optimism and life teaching. Oliver became a famous TV star on Nashville. The two have been wed since 2006. The 3 children of the marriage are Rio, Bodie, and Wilder. Everyone can see that Goldie and Oliver get along well and that she loves being the kids' grandparents. Wyatt, the only biological child of Goldie and Kurt, likewise appreciates his parents' guidance and support over the years and attributes a large portion of his success to them. Like his sporting father, Wyatt had a tough choice to make. Wyatt Russell played professional hockey before turning to acting. Unfortunately, a series of severe injuries cut his playing career short. Wyatt tried acting, co-starring with his father in Escape from L.A., and appearing in the Jonas Hill and Channing Tatum version of 22 Jump Street. 2012, he wed stylist Sane Hammers. However, the pair separated in 2017. Actress Meredith Hagner has been his source of pleasure lately. The two were married in 2019. In The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, starring Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, Wyatt made a comeback to the big screen. Goldie, the grandmother. The two stars have embraced a new role that they've fully embraced now that their children are grown. Goldie and Russell love being grandparents since most of their children are now parents. After being married to Chris Robinson, the singer of the Black Crowes, Kate had 3 children. They have a son named Ryder, and Kate just gave birth to a daughter with her long-term boyfriend, Danny Fujikawa. She also has a kid with Matt Bellamy of the band Muse. Han and Russell are also kept occupied by Oliver's 3 children, but they wouldn't have it any other way. A common daily activity that helps many members of the family. Goldie Hawn began meditating every day at an early age. Though she's Jewish and instilled her Judaism in her children, her admiration for Buddhism and meditation has been the most significant influence. Kate accepted it as well and spoke highly of the advantages. Oliver married Erin under the direction of a Buddhist monk. Meditation has been the most helpful and life-changing thing for me. You can feel the difference when you meditate regularly. Partners in life and on the big screen. Regarding collaborative acting, Kurt and Goldie have only sometimes acted in blockbuster movies. The film Swing Shift was not a commercial success and was a financial loss, despite the joyful production and the expectation that their natural connection would translate on screen. Years passed before the pair found another project they were thrilled to work on together, since they were not rushing to duplicate that experience. They had a hit in 1987 when they starred in the comedy Overboard. Their chemistry was great, and audiences enjoyed seeing the couple argue and fall in love. 3 decades went by without a reunion on screen, even though the picture generated $27 million at the box office, so it would have made sense to make another one as soon as possible. Ho ho ho! Eventually, in 2017, Kurt was hired as Santa Claus in the Netflix movie The Christmas Chronicles, and Goldie was given the part of Mrs. Claus. This marked the couple's reunion. Although Goldie has a tiny part in the movie, Kurt still remembers the experience positively and even explains why he was so excited to perform that part. "Santa is the center of Christmas," he said, "because it's the one time a year when we can all get together for a long time and enjoy everything that all families have." So, why did they not get married? Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn have been inseparable for 37 years. They are the toast of Hollywood and have done a great job raising their kids and grandkids in a loving family. But they've never needed to exchange vows to formalize their relationship formally. In contrast to most Hollywood couples who tie the knot after months or even days of meeting, Goldie and Kurt are convinced that their relationship wouldn't alter in any way if they were married. Knowing why they've never married, Russell said, "For people like us, the marriage certificate wasn't going to create anything that otherwise we wouldn't have." Echoing Goldie's question in an interview, "What's marriage going to do for us?" The revelation that explains their decision. Unlike many other couples, Goldie and Kurt have never felt the need to be married to increase their security in life. Maybe they were persuaded by their prior unsuccessful marriages that they wouldn't benefit from a marriage certificate. They even think that it's made their relationship stronger. Goldie acknowledges that they may not have succeeded as a pair if they'd been married. In a subsequent interview, Goldie said, "There's something psychological about not being married because it gives you the freedom to make decisions one way or the other. For me, I chose to stay. Kurt chose to stay, and we liked the choice." One partnership, but different interests. They've put a lot of effort into building togetherness, trust, and an unbreakable tie, but they've also made time for themselves. They offer each other the room and independence they need. They have separate areas of the home where they may spend quiet time together. Kurt is a passionate hunter who does not engage Goldie in this hobby. Likewise, Kurt is reluctant to accept Goldie's enjoyment of yoga and meditation. The pair just received an award, something that most people never do. The stars with their stars. Kurt and Goldie received their stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in May 2017. Since it's difficult for one individual to get one of their esteemed stars, it's highly uncommon for a pair to receive one. They accepted their medals by rolling down Hollywood Boulevard arm in arm during the red carpet event. It seems appropriate that the stars are positioned adjacent to one another, given their 37-year marriage. Actress Reese Witherspoon and filmmaker Quentin Tarantino were among the many well-known Hollywood figures present at the occasion. The couple's kids were there to witness their award acceptance. Kate's message was so moving that it brought many of her followers to tears. Kate's heartfelt tribute to her parents. Kate spoke warmly about Goldie and Kurt. Our tribe that they created, that they so vehemently protect and defend, the relationship they fiercely refuse to lose sight of together, and the deep feeling of love and nurturing they reserve for the most important thing we have in this life, family, that's what these stars represent to me forever. Although there was no formal wedding ceremony, Goldie and Kurt were surrounded by their loved ones, celebrating all they'd accomplished as a couple. Kate spoke with pride during her tribute to Goldie and Kurt. When it was Goldie's time to talk, she astounded the audience as usual. Goldie's knockout punchline. Following Kate's moving and passionate speech, Goldie walked up to the stage and said, "Did we just get married?" with a mischievous smile and flawless delivery. The audience was nearly disappointed, but they realized that the pair had overcome the odds and they didn't want to destroy their magic formula. She joked, "We've never had a celebration like this before, but I won't pop the question." Kurt and Goldie are still producing films, and shortly after the Walk of Fame event, Goldie starred with Amy Schumer in Snatched. Kurt's intergalactic success. In 2017, Kurt had even more success at the box office, having starred in two successful blockbusters, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and The Fate of the Furious, bringing in an astounding $2 billion worldwide. The duo consistently complements one another's work and consistently shows up to one another's red carpet premieres with the same fervor and admiration. Their love, loyalty, and unwavering support for one another are evident in every interview they do. Given how much they enjoy each other's company, it's understandable why they've been together for more than 30 years. Success all around for this impressive family. To the surprise of their parents, Kurt and Goldie's children were also attaining success in their own right while making hits at the box office. Kate's fitness company, Fabletics, saw exponential growth, leading her to resign from acting to concentrate entirely on her business. Oliver Hudson is thrilled to be working on another major project after enjoying his time on the popular program Nashville, which featured Hayden Panettiere and Connie Britton. Oliver Hudson is producing a new comedy called Splitting Up Together. Oliver oversees the men's section of his sister's business and is a designer. They both still have a great deal of gratitude for Hollywood's golden couple's love and support. No need for nuptials. Goldie and Kurt have stayed devoted to one another through good times and bad, demonstrating the love and trust they've sustained for their 37-year partnership. They're still defying the odds and have no intention of altering their status to marriage. Despite several Hollywood marriages collapsing, the two stars remain an excellent example for their fans and children. They maintain a high standard of privacy, which is difficult in the era of social media and hungry paparazzi. Their unshakable relationship is a beautiful illustration of what's possible when the correct amount of love, loyalty, trust, and admiration are given. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon